Yes, stay.
Okay. Hi everyone. Hi everyone in our school and on YouTube. And welcome to our Erasmus Club, our school student Erasmus Club. Today we have special guests, 3 teachers from Ystad Gymnasium in Sweden, whose Erasmus project includes job shadowing here in our school. We couldn't pass this opportunity for our students and everyone watching the live streaming on YouTube to learn a bit about mental health and life in Sweden. Especially since this year we celebrate our school's 100th birthday with special accent to the future years, which will, at least we hope, include more and more Erasmus projects. So, I welcome Elisabeth Christiansen,
Thank you.
Krista Kempe and Hele Korsgaard. Did I pronounce it well?
Perfect.
Yeah? Okay. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And one of our star students, Edna Hamovic, will talk to you about mental health. After which the students from our Erasmus Club will have some more questions for you about life in Sweden in general. Everyone watching, enjoy. Edna, you can start.
So, welcome again. My name is Edna, as you have heard. Welcome to our school and thank you for accepting our offer to participate in this talk. We are very interested in hearing how does Sweden function, and I'll let my fellow classmates ask some questions about that a bit later. But first, let's talk about mental health. As if I heard correctly, the project that brought you here on job shadowing is about mental health. Can you say something more about that project, please?
Yes, well, we started out this project in 2019,
Okay.
And we went primarily at a course or a weekly course for teachers in Barcelona.
Okay.
And it was about positive psychology and how to work with student stress
Interesting.
in the classroom and outside the classroom. And then due to the pandemic, we didn't do anything in 2020, so we had to extend the project. And now, just a month ago, we went to Florence in Italy for our second project part. It was also a course for teachers. And now we're coming here to see how you work with mental health issues in your school.
Okay, so you have hope for the future?
We certainly do. Yes.
Okay, my psychology teacher told me about research from 2016, which shows that around 14% of young people in the European Union are at risk of developing depression, but that percentage is even higher in Sweden. It's like about 41%. Would you say that there is more depression in Sweden than in other countries? And what would be the possible reasons for that? Who would like to join me?
Oh, Elisabeth.
Well, I think we talked about this question before, and we think that, I don't have the statistics, and it seems like an awfully high figure. I don't think it's as much as 41%, but anyhow. We think that in Sweden it is
It's a place to talk about it.
It's very normal for students to talk about their problems, and it's almost like if you don't have a problem, it's more strange than if you do. So more and more talking about mental issues. It's also more common that if I ask you, do you feel okay? And they say no. So if you look at statistics like this, the percentage could be much higher than in, I don't know, your country or other countries where it's not common to talk about it.
Okay.
I think. We don't know, but we think so.
Except depression, what are other mental health issues that your students may be faced with, and what are the problems that most affect them?
stress, I think.
Stress caused by what?
They want to have high grades, primarily,
Okay.
I think.
High grades, okay. How do you deal with those mental health issues? And do you have mental health educations maybe? Or especially now during the times of the pandemic, which influences everyone's mental health even more? And if yes, can you tell us a bit more about them? About those mental health educations, if you have any.
I teach mental training in school.
Okay.
I have yoga and have mindfulness and meditation.
How does it look
3
like?
hours a week
Okay.
as a course.
How do classes look like?
We can start with a meditation for
Okay.
25 minutes, or some yoga for 1 hour. We have yoga mats and blankets in the classroom.
I'm interested in yoga, so it's nice to hear that. Here in Croatia, the situation regarding mental health is not really good, if I'm being honest. Research shows that 1 in 4 high school students from Zagreb has strong symptoms of anxiety, and 1 in 5 has strong symptoms of depression. And the pandemic and earthquakes during 2020 just made it worse. We had a research in our school conducted by last year's seniors as a part of extracurricular psychology that showed that mental health of our students is really endangered. But people here don't often go to see psychologists because they think that other people might think they are crazy. What's it like in Sweden? Is professional help easily accessible in your country, and does it represent shame like it does for so many of us?
No, as I told you before, it's common that students and young people come to talk either with us teachers or counselors in school. So we have a lot of staff that are working with coaching and counseling and those kinds of subjects outside, class, but inside school. If we take it to a regional level, the healthcare system, there we have a problem. You talked about that last night, that there is if you call for a psychologist, you can't get an appointment until, next year, maybe.
So,
in a year or 6 months or something.
So, all in all, would you say that professional help is easily accessible or not?
For kids in school, yes, but outside school, not so much.
Okay. So we were
I
talking
agree,
about mental health issues and how bad situation regarding mental health is, especially now during COVID. And yet there is information from United Nations World Happiness Report that Sweden is on 6th place on the list of happiest countries in the world. Would you agree with that? Are Swedish really that happy despite COVID and high risk of depression? And maybe what are the reasons for such high place?
It's really difficult.
Oh, we have the Swedish fika.
We have the fika, like
Cookies
snack time, often snack time.
Interesting.
And
Every day we have fika. It's a time to talk and drink.
That's very nice.
Meat.
coffee breaks.
Yes.
We cook.
And we also have, if you go way back in town, we have the Luther. It was, Lutheranism. Well, a sense of not complaining and not asking for too much.
Okay.
And doing your job and, be a good citizen. So maybe, I think, this is my personal, reflection, I think that maybe Swedes are maybe not happier, but content, you just, okay, this is it, and we just go with
Realistic, yes.
Oh, this is life.
This is life.
Yeah, life happens and
It goes up and down.
Yes. This question brought us from the topic of mental health to the topic of normal life in Sweden. I'm sure my fellow classmates are eager to ask you some questions right now, but first I have a question of my own. Could you please tell us what is the main model of learning in your country? Do you prefer group work or individual tasks for your students? And how do your classes usually look like on a daily basis?
Well, we have bigger classes than you have. We are about 30 in every class, from 25 to 32.
Okay.
Well, and it depends a lot on the subject. If there is individual work, or for example for you in yoga classes, it's very different.
Okay. Let's now hear questions from others who would like to ask first. Come on, guys. Yes, please.
How does the pressure of underage people affect on their education?
Could you please just repeat that but louder?
How does the pressure of underage people affect their education? Like
The depression.
How does the depression of younger people affect their everyday life?
education? Are grades lower or higher?
Does that affect their grades?
During the pandemic,
Really?
surprisingly. We don't know if the teachers lower their
Criteria?
Expectations.
Yeah.
But they can always call us on Zoom to be guided, I think.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason for such
Yeah,
high grades.
I
Okay,
think
next
so.
question.
So it's brighten up a little. They maybe have them at festivals or something. And could you tell us something about them?
Could you tell us a bit more about your festivals during this time of the year?
I thought it was during the pandemic there were no festivals.
Yes, obviously.
Well, soon there will be Christmas. We also have Christmas holidays, like you have, of course. And from the 1st of, now on last Sunday, it was 28th. This Sunday, at the 1st of, what do you call it, Advent?
Advent?
Yes. So we start Christmas decorating and holiday cheering in the streets. Not as much as here, though. This is very beautiful. We like
Thank you.
Zagreb a lot.
Thank you very much. Next question. Yes?
What is the typical day of a student when in school? When does it begin? When does it end? How many subjects do they have? And etc.
Okay, they start their school day at about 8 o'clock and finish at 4 o'clock. But there are free time. They're not in classes all the day.
Okay. So they have lunch breaks or coffee breaks?
Lunch break and coffee breaks, yes.
And study breaks.
And we have lunch in school. The students eat in school.
Okay.
Free lunch.
Free lunch, yes.
Did anyone ever complain about that?
Of course. But they're quite content anyway.
Okay.
They
No,
can
we have-
choose about fish and meat and vegetables.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Next.
And you asked us about the subjects. We have about 7 or 8 subjects each week. I heard you had 16. Oh, that's a lot.
We have 90 minutes lessons.
Yeah.
We
So have a
usually
long-
45, but now 40 due to pandemic. So next question. Yes?
In Sweden, there can be hot temperatures, so it has ever happened that schools are closed because of cold? If yes, what is the temperature limit and how often does it happen?
Has school ever closed due to temperature extremes? And what was the temperature like?
It not because of temperature, but because of snow.
Okay.
You know, a massive snow. It was 2 years ago, maybe, I think. We had to
Almost
close
every year, someday.
Yeah, 1 or 2 days every year we have to close down because the buses or the trains can't go because it's been massive snowing. But it's 1 or 2.
How much?
Well, it depends because no, it can be only a couple of like this, but because on the wind, it takes out everything.
How do you personally deal with that?
We just stay at home, watch a movie.
Buy a good
a good shovel.
Next. Yes.
Do they have hobbies after school, like besides school?
Do they have hobbies after school?
a lot of sports activities.
Such as?
And we encourage them to do something else, not just study.
Handball.
Handball?
Okay.
Handball?
Yeah.
It's big in Ystad. It's a big.
Football and handball city.
You call it handball?
Handball.
Handball. Yeah.
Yeah. It's big in Ystad.
And football, of course, and gym, palestra,
Yeah.
Lots of gym.
yeah,
Horseback riding and
swimming. We have a big swimming place in Ystad.
What do you students usually do of those that you mentioned?
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. Okay. Next. Yes.
What do Swedish people think about Croatia in general, and has the visit changed your perspective on us as a nation?
What do Swedish people think about Croatia, and has your perspective changed since you visited us today?
I think it's beautiful.
Yes. I think most of the Swedish people that know anything about Croatia is about the coastline.
Yeah.
The beautiful water and
Obviously.
beaches and Dubrovnik, yes. But we have now the opportunity to see this beautiful city with the mountains, and we really are amazed. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
What students can learn about mental health in your school?
What can students learn about mental health in your school?
Stress management.
Stress management. How does it work? If you have any tips, you will be welcomed.
Just breathe.
Just
Relax.
We have to tell you about the big project. It's an outcome from Erasmus. Elizabeth, please, can you tell us about every teachers have to learn about
coach,
and boost the well-being.
We're trying to implement in our whole school. We are a very big school, so we have around 300 staff, teachers, and about 1,600 or 1,700 students. So it's a big school. So instead of teaching every student how to stress management or feel good or something, we teach the teachers how to teach the students.
That's very interesting.
So we have pouring down, but it's a long process.
Okay, I understand.
A year.
Or maybe 2, yeah. So we'll see. It's a slow implementation in the classrooms, how to de-stress the students.
Okay, thank you. Next.
How long do your holidays last, and how many of them have in one school year?
How many holidays do you have in one school year, and how long do they last?
Easter, 1 week. The Christmas, 3 weeks. Sport, 1 week.
February. First Leo.
Autumn, 1 week. Summer
10.
7 weeks. No, 8 weeks. Oh my. Oh my.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question, please. Yes?
You have told us that they have only 9 subjects, and what are those?
What are those 9 subjects that you mentioned?
Well, it depends. We don't have the same school system as you have, so it depends on which program you're in, because you can choose among the general gymnasium programs. You can either choose social sciences or economics or natural sciences, for example. So you have subjects within those subjects. But mandatory is, of course, Swedish and English and maths and social sciences and history.
Okay, thank you.
And physical education, only the first year though.
Okay, next. Come on. Yes?
How do you deal when there is too much COVID cases in the country or maybe in school? Is the school progressing regularly, or it is on some online platform?
All in all, how does your school deal with COVID problems?
Well, now we have school as usual, so the students come to school, but if they have symptoms or are positive to COVID, of course they have to stay at home.
Yes.
Last year we had online school, like you, on Zoom.
Okay.
What did you think about that? Having classes online?
It was very difficult, especially if you work actually something, but I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, really. How do your students, did grades get better or?
Actually, as you said, yeah, actually they did. I don't know why, we haven't figured that one out, but
okay. Maybe we know.
Maybe you know. Or maybe we talked about, with the students, maybe they had less distractions, between classes or even in classes. You chit-chat with another one and you do with your mobile phone or whatever, and you get distracted a lot. But when you're at home for almost a year, you can focus more on, certain parts of the day at least.
Yes. If you have self-discipline.
Yeah, yes. We also had exceptions for some of our students that didn't have internet at home or couldn't.
Many siblings.
If they have a large, a big family, with small children and big children, they could come to school and sit in one classroom, be alone but in school.
That's very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. Yes?
How do the kids get to school? Like, do they go on bus or?
How do kids get in school? By bus or?
Train, bus?
Bicycle.
Bicycle, okay.
Or walking, of course.
Yes.
Do they travel from afar? Because
some do.
Around 1,700 people. 17,000, sorry. And,
no, 1,700.
1,700. You said that students come from the wide area.
Yeah.
So how far do some travel?
1 hour by bus or by train.
Yeah,
1 hour.
That takes a lot of time actually to get home. And okay. Next question.
Do you have any advice on how to encourage the students to be more open about their problems to teachers and counselors?
They are open.
Maybe
Do you have any tips how to open to someone?
How to open? I work like a coach in our school.
Okay.
And just to talk about it in the classroom. Everybody knows about stress, and it's not a problem. It's not you're not sick. It's normal to feel stressed out or have some days or they feel low. It's normal.
But for maybe worse problems, like worse than stress, what should we do then? Seek
Also
professional
talk about
help?
it. Don't be afraid to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
We often talk about in our school that the best thing is to have a good relationship or good relations with the teachers. And we see that you do that here too. The teachers are not your friends, but they're grown-ups that listens. So that's a good thing.
Okay, thank you. Next question, yes?
Our high school was 4 years. How long does high school in Sweden last?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, thank you. Next. Yes?
Do you use modern technology or modern tools in the class?
Do you use modern technology in classes?
Yeah.
For example?
Every student has their own laptop. They get that from... No. You have pen and paper. That is also very good. You know, yes. The other day, one of my students told me that they have to relearn how to write by hand because they always write on the computer now.
Nobody have a pen.
No. No. They have their own computers, and we also have, you know, like you have big screens and what do you call it? Projectors. Yeah. We have. It's a really we're kind of high tech. Yeah. Yeah, we do.
We are.
Yeah.
But I noticed in the hallway that on your you show your work, and it was very nice handwriting.
Yeah.
We have a lot of practice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Students learning, you know, the brain and the...
For some students, it's actually easier to learn when they write and decorate that. Okay, next question. Yes?
Do you have to go to college, or are those 3 years enough for a student to get a job?
Do your students have to go to college, or are those 3 years enough to get a job?
Sometimes it's enough if you go on a vocational program.
Mechanics.
Sorry.
Yeah. Pre-nurse. Vad heter det?
Pre-nursing school.
Yeah.
Mechanics, electricians, what do you call them? Building. Carpenters. Carpenters.
Yeah.
And bricklayers. Yeah. Well, we have different vocational programs and zookeepers. And the zookeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you get a job directly after school. But if you go on a general gymnasium, you're supposed to go to university.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Unless you want to work in like Konsum.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do students get a summer jobs?
Do students get summer jobs, and what are those, for example?
Nursing homes, restaurants, bars.
And we have a big spa.
Childcare.
Coffee shops.
Similar. Okay. Yes.
When the student finishes gymnasium, and if he wants to go to college, does he have to write a graduation or something like that?
Like SAT exams or something before college?
No.
No? No. Okay.
They apply on the grades.
They have their grades from the gymnasium.
We also have, but we need to SAT exams and then maybe exams pre-college.
Nope.
A lot of.
Sweden, no.
Nope.
Okay. Maybe we should move to Sweden. Okay.
Now they understand why happiness is so hard.
Well, maybe so.
The stress is...
But the stress is because they have to get the best grades from gymnasium because they don't have a second chance. You have several chances, don't you? Well, you do the SAT and you do the this and that.
Yes.
And they only have the gymnasium grades.
So a lot of work goes there.
Yeah, so well, I don't know if that makes us happy or not.
Okay, next question. Yes.
Do you have grades from 1 to 5 or from A to F?
Do you have grades for 1 to 5 or A, F, or?
A to F.
Okay, interesting.
You get letters.
Yes?
How often do you organize school trips?
How often do you organize school trips?
Once a year.
Yeah.
Is it somewhere in your country or?
It depends.
Okay.
They can do practice in another country. We have in England
Okay,
an
interesting.
exchange. England and Germany.
Yeah.
Interesting, thank you. Next. Who didn't ask anything? Yes?
As teacher, what are you promoting in your class? Like what values do you promote?
As a teacher, what are you promoting in your class?
Happiness, of course.
Good relations.
Good relations, yes.
Have fun.
Okay, so you're not
And learn
strict.
oh, wow. Well, you have to ask our students about that.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I think we have mutual respect.
Okay.
You know,
That's the best
we
way.
as teachers, we respect you as students, and you do the same for us. So it's a good work environment.
Yes, I agree. Yes?
What are the main subjects in Sweden? The ones that need the most attention on learning.
Classes that need the most attention.
Maths. Math and physics, I guess.
Are Swedish people really good at maths?
No.
No? Who is actually?
Well,
We have extra teachers for just
Okay. Interesting. Thank you. Yes?
So do you have a limit of how many tests can students have in a week?
Do you have limits for how many tests students can have during the week? Or?
2 to 3.
2 to 3.
we don't. No. Oh, no. It differs. We don't, for example.
Ja, men det står. Men det är inte många som håller det står.
they have 4.
And also, I don't know how to say that.
So 2 subjects in a day. They can get graded on 2 subjects each day. So if they have a test in, I don't know, maths, which is a written test, then there is another subject in that timetable of the day that they can get a grade on. And it can be an oral type of examination or some kind of working class that they can get a grade on.
Wow.
So this is what he was trying to say. And 4 tests maximum during the week, but it's just a few weeks in the year when they have 4. There are a lot of weeks when they go by without any tests. So it's not.
For example, December is full of tests.
Of
March, June.
It's the same as Sweden.
Yeah.
Next question. Yes.
Do you visit public theaters or museums?
Do you visit public theaters or museums or?
Yeah.
Actually, we do. Well, now we haven't because of the pandemic, but
cinema.
we went to the cinema with almost the whole school. And we saw different kind of movies that are with important messages. Actually, my class, we saw a film called Tigers, and it's about a football player that moves to Italy to be a professional football player, and how the stress makes him anorectic or orthoretic. He trains a lot and works out a lot, and then he doesn't eat. So it was also a guy, so it was a boy. So it was interesting to talk about, because boys don't get anorexia and don't have mental issues.
Yeah.
You know, it's important to talk about that. Also, boys have problems that needs to be addressed.
Yes, that's very well said.
What
We
film
saw
did you?
The Father. Yeah. About the dementia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have to pay for your health care?
Do you have to pay for your health care?
Well, some, but a very small amount.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes?
What's that small amount?
Like 100 kunas
Yeah, I think so.
when you visit the doctor.
100, 150 maybe for one visit. Yes.
Och sen är det, vad är det?
Ja, sen är det så högkostnadsskydd.
Ja, vad fan är det?
Ja.
It's free.
Oh, well.
100 kunas,
Yes.
okay.
But we pay a lot of taxes, that's why. So
It
that's
makes
good.
sense.
Yeah.
At what age do children start primary school?
At what age do children start primary school?
So, 6. Uh-huh.
6. Okay.
And you?
6, 7. Yes?
In general, who is the biggest role model for Swedish children?
Who is the biggest role model to Swedish children?
Of course, their parents. I would say no. I don't think that's true. Maybe it's an influencer or a YouTuber. I don't know.
Zlatan?
Oh, well, he's getting kind of old.
Yes,
Maybe.
he still keep going strong.
I think most of our students in school, they, follow influencers on Instagram and
As everyone.
as you do,
Yes.
probably.
Yes, yes. Next. Yes?
Do your students learn any foreign language besides English?
Do your students learn any foreign languages? Except English?
Spanish, Danish, Deutsch, Russia,
French.
Japanese.
No,
No.
French. Well, you can choose.
We can choose.
Yeah, they get to choose when they start gymnasium.
That's interesting. Okay.
Most students, they have Spanish, I think. The
Or
biggest
Deutsch.
group.
Spanish, Deutsch, and French.
Yeah. The French
And
isn't.
always.
Always. Yeah.
Okay. Yes?
So is that third language mandatory or is it optional?
It's optional which language, and it's mandatory for the first year, but then you can continue for all 3 years if you want to.
Okay.
Most students don't, unfortunately.
Languages are interesting.
Huh?
For me, languages are interesting, really.
Yeah, good, good.
Yes?
Do those students wear uniforms or?
Do students wear uniforms? No.
No,
Never have or?
no.
Bra.
Uniforms, uniform, no.
Okay. Yes?
Is Latin a subject?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. We just get more reasons to move to Sweden.
Do you have Latin?
Yes, just first 2 years.
Ah, that's perfect.
But we don't actually know much.
But it's good for learning other languages.
Yes,
It is.
That's true.
It is.
Okay. Yes?
I think they have a Latin test today, that's why.
Okay.
Do you have a dress code in your school?
Do you have dress codes in your school?
No. Appropriate, inappropriate, some kind of, informal.
No.
So students can wear whatever they like?
Yeah.
Okay.
They look just like you.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
It's not a problem, really.
No. No.
Okay. Yes?
What do you like most about your school?
What do you like the most about your school?
The students, of course.
Yes.
The students.
It's an old, lovely school like
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's modernized a bit more.
Okay. So
You can come visit.
we would like to. Yes?
What do you have on your playgrounds? Which sports can you play on the playgrounds?
Which sports can you play on your playgrounds?
Volleyball.
is we have a big arena close to the school, and we have nature, alltså, vad heter det? Skog? Woods.
Forest.
The beach.
And the beach, we have everything.
That's very cool.
Swimming,
Paddle.
everything.
Nice. Next. Do we have any more questions? Yes.
Music.
Yeah.
Like a subject.
Yeah. Do you have music as a subject?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Any more questions?
I have one. Before we wrap it up, I didn't say what our guests are actually teachers of. So could please each of you just say what are you teaching or what is your field? I think it will be interesting to hear, and maybe point out what do you find most interesting about what you teach, about your field?
Well, I'm a mathematics teacher and science teacher, but I have graduated to a special needs teacher. Now I work a lot with students that are, they have ADHD or autism or dyslexia. You know, some kind of problem. And what else did you want me to?
Well, what do you find? What do you like the most about what
It's
you
to
do?
see when the student makes it, when they succeed.
And they
And they
succeed to
do,
make
always.
So basically, that's something like školski pedagog. Okay. Okay.
I teach in mental practice, mental training, and psychology, and psychiatry.
Psychiatry.
Yeah, so, because I'm a behaviorist, and I'm a coach. So I coach students who don't feel any motivation half time. Okay. And I like to see them set goals and
And get better as well.
Yeah, and succeed.
Okay. And Elizabeth?
Well, I teach behavioral science in sociology and criminology. Yeah, you want to go to my class, don't you? So we talk about, you know, it's really, they like it a lot to see how you become a criminal and how to prevent becoming a criminal. And now we talk a lot about gangs. You know, I don't know if you have that problem in Croatia about gang criminality. A bit, yeah. And I'm part-time. I'm doing administration, like a vice principal. So what I like most is, you know, like you said, to see the students succeed and to see that they understand, you know, this, boing, oh, I got it. That's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you both our guests and you students and Edna for doing this, for this really interesting discussion and for interesting questions and answers. And thanks for everyone who is watching, of course, as always. We are continuing our job shadowing activities for our guests tomorrow. So everyone have a great day, the remainder of the day. Bye.